Good day, everybody. Darren Yankee here, Echo Y Farms. Just starting the morning off, taking the Ranger out to check on the cattle. Driving up our valley road. Since we raise these young dairy cattle, they get a couple pounds of grain per head per day. So we got the Ranger loaded up in the back with a few pails of a grain mineral mix for them Holsteins. There's some salt and some other minerals in there. A little bit of a foggy Sunday morning. The sun's starting to peek out behind the fog. Our field drive here is about 3/4 of a mile long. Runs up the center of our valley, and we have hillsides on both sides of the valley here, and that's where we graze the cattle on. You see the paddocks in the video here? They're grazed about 10 days ago, so that's a pretty good regrowth on them already. Couple different roads back here. We call it the Y splits, to the left or to the right. Going out to the right today. Kind of start seeing some cattle up on the hills there. Remember the beef cattle, feeder group. And then there's the black and whites right next to them. That's where we're headed, where the black and whites are, the young dairy cattle. Heading over there to give them the grain this morning. Go over back here, we'll check on all the cattle, make sure they're all in. They all got water for part of the day. We'll come back out here again about 2 o'clock and move them over to the new paddock. Move some fences around and get set up for the next day. Browner field to our side is our field that we got sorghum planted in. We'll harvest that in the fall for the cattle to eat over the winter months. Here's our one pond. You can kind of see it in the fog this morning. We have 2 ponds, they're about that size, and we have a couple smaller ones as well. Like I said previously, our cattle don't get much access to the ponds. Maybe for part of the day we knock down the grass around the edges. Otherwise they have water lines that supply the cattle with water throughout the pasture system. Hopefully this video ain't too rough for you. Driving the Ranger around, it's really smooth. So one thing I take for granted is how we cross our poly wires with our Ranger. We don't have no mechanism on the front to push the wire down, but you can see the poly wire right here. That wire's still hot right now. So what we do is we kind of hit the wire at an angle. I put my foot out the door, push the wire down, hit it at an angle. Kind of hard to see, but then yeah, we just drive over the wire then, pops back up, and away we go. Wires to get across before we get in by the cattle. Just like that, we cross another wire. Really simple to do. call it the rolling hills. There's a good reason for that. It rolls up and down pretty good. That sun's really peeking out now through that fog. I guess we are getting a little higher too. Let's get up on top of the hill here. We'll get out and kind of show you around this high point in the pasture. And see, we're in with the young dairy cattle. But the beef cattle are just on the other side of the fence. They're the leaders of the group. They're in the paddock before the dairy cattle get in. Over there, we were bale grazing for quite a long time this early spring. There's a couple bare spots over to the side of them trees. Oh, there's a deer sticking his head out of the pine trees over there. So that's the 360 view of where we are in the pasture. We'll have to get some grain off the back and start feeding it. Well, I guess I'm out here by myself today. Normally we have a couple people, one to drive the Ranger while we throw the grain out in the bunks, and the other one to throw the grain out. So I'm kind of doing it by myself, so I can't video and throw grain at the same time. But you all have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe and like. Thanks for listening.